Welcome, MCBCFA Network. We are here with part 7 of this Death of Superman read-along. That is Superman number 75. Part 7, the final chapter. This is written, it's actually words and pictures by Dan Jurgens and finished art by Brett Breeding. So, we last left, Superman made the statement that he is going to hold the line. This is where he puts his foot down, he's in Metropolis. It's all or nothing. And that's what it looks like as we start. 2 good pages of just fighting. Superman losing ground to Doomsday. The Cadmus soldiers are still firing on the two. And then within 2 pages, Superman looks like he's just about had it. That looks like a pretty bad photo or picture. He's fast. He says, have to move faster, match Doomsday's speed, or I'm done. He's getting outclassed right now. Superman is just unable to do anything. Superman goes flying into one of the Cadmus soldiers and a helicopter. He then, though, saves the copter, because it had Lois and Jimmy in it. He grabs hold and saves it. He wants to get them away from danger, but he just doesn't know what he can do. Lois is pleading with him to maybe get help. Jimmy might be right. This might be too much. This guy seems unstoppable. And Superman says, the JLA is down. Nothing can happen. He's destroying everyone and everything. She goes to argue with him, and he says, just remember, no matter what happens, I'll always love you. Always. And he actually looks a little... Because Jurgens, when they do it, Jurgens and Breeding, they give him some like eye black almost. So yeah, he kind of has a Severus Snape look. Always. Maybe he's a Slytherin deep down. I don't know. But anyway, he takes off, and Doomsday, he gets his. So Superman goes in and he hits him hard. I'm not sure of the photo. It looks like he actually headbutts him in the gut. That's a great way to get a stinger. That's a horrible tackle. I mean, you don't put your head down ever. So, I do not condone this one bit. I'm not happy with that actual page. I'm not quite sure how he actually hit Doomsday, but it seems to have rocked him. Doomsday's kind of hunched over, so I'm guessing it was a headbutt straight to the gut. But with unstoppable as he seems, I would be the last thing I'd be trying. I tried that too once when I was playing football to a big fat guy, and it just really hurt my neck a lot and didn't do much to him. After that, I went back to doing exactly what I was supposed to, and things worked out a lot better. But Superman and Doomsday go flying through a parking garage, it looks like, and then right after that, pile driver, right into the concrete. And I love how Superman stopped. Cuts him right off. Doomsday is alerted to Jimmy and Lois being right there. She's like, Jimmy wants to get pictures, but you don't have to get this close, he says. And she says, Lois is like, we have to help him. We have to get in there. It's the love of her life. I mean, think about what we all would do for this person that would be in that, with that position. You would be doing anything. I mean, I'm sure I would do the same thing for my wife. There would be not much that could stop me. I would be the same position here, all or nothing. So that's a good distraction though, because it pops Superman up, he lets him pop up, and then puts a fist square in his back. So that's good. If you wanted to get to Doomsday, or you want to get to my friend's Doomsday, you have to go through me first. You're gonna have to kill me. And he hits him with a heat ray, puts him into the building, but nothing seems to slow him down. Because as soon as he's put back, it looks like he's got him on the rocks. The next panel is that bony protrusion of the knee, right up to the chin, and it slices him. I mean, it cuts Superman up. But with that, he's like, hey, these are just an extension of his skeleton, right? Like, that's what this is. This bone is part of his skeleton, so why not? I mean, this right here is not your typical Superman move. It's a little more Batman-esque, or I'm going to say the same type of thing happened. Colossus, if anyone's read X-Men books, there was a more recent story in the last few years. the once and final Juggernaut, and Colossus is getting it handed to him. Despite his strength and his nature, that's part of the thing. He's kind of down on himself. Storm gives him a thrashing. He goes in, and I guess I'm leading to this whole thing, and he says, I'm going to fight this, but I'm not going to fight this the same way I always do, where it's like you have to be super honorable and try to beat him on your own game. He's like, I'm going to do this like Wolverine would do. And he like punches the ground out from underneath Juggernaut and buries him and down into the ocean. He takes the win the way you can get the win. That's more Batman-esque, Wolverine. A lot of the characters that are not, they're heroes, but they're not that big blue Boy Scout. Peter is the artist at heart with just a heart of gold. These characters don't fight that way. It's always on the up and up. I mean, I don't mind it. It's great. But I'm always like, hey, you're going for a win. Bruce Lee said it. You use everything to your advantage in an environment. You fight to win. And it's a fight. There's no rules in a fight. You're fighting to win. Save your life. Take the other person out. So he does that. Superman snaps off the bony protrusion out of that knee. And that really pained Doomsday. We finally see him actually look hurt. He cries out in pain. So that's the first time we're starting to see something, which is amazing, because this is all the way through. We're in the 7th book of this reading, and this is the first time he looks like he's actually hurt. Not laughing. We haven't seen him laugh for 2 issues now, which is a plus. So that means he's weakened. Superman's starting to get to him. Maybe he's kind of coming a little bit downhill too. So he does that. Superman breaks that off, and they're just duking it out, shattering the windows of the Daily Planet. We got a nice big full panel here. Superman coming with a double axe handle, just going to try to rock Doomsday. Doomsday's fist is just gigantic, with those bony protrusions sticking out, the Wolverine type claws, just gonna come into Superman's face. And sure enough, they both deliver. This is Rocky 3. Rocky 3, right? It's actually not Rocky 3, it's Rocky 2. They both, I'm thinking of the very last panel of Rocky 3, or picture, but in Rocky 2, they both hit each other. It happens in Rocky, the first one. They both hit each other in the face and go flying. The 10 count, they both get count out, hence why Rocky doesn't take the belt. Creed gets it. He retains. He stays the champion. But he's no longer the undisputed because it was not a unanimous decision, and a lot of people felt he lost the fight. Sorry. Little tangent. Love Rocky. So that's from Rocky 1. Go watch it. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. But they hit and deliver. They're falling in the eye of Jimmy's camera. It's fantastic. And I'm just going to read this. I'm going to read the captions that are written here. I thought really, I loved the end and how it just played out. And it was great. So it says, like weary boxers who have gone the distance, the combatants collide in one last explosive effort. True. I just said it. It's just like in Rocky. In the years to come, a few witnesses will tell of the power of these final punches, that they could literally feel the shockwaves. Others will remember the enormous crater that resulted from the sheer force of the blows, but most remember this sad day as the day the proudest, most noble man they ever knew finally fell. For those who loved him, it focuses on Lois, one who would call him husband, one who would be his pal. We see it moreover Jimmy. And now we're moving to other ones here. Or those who call him son. Martha and John are watching on TV. This is the darkest day they could ever imagine. They raised him to be a hero, to know the value of sacrifice, to know the value of life. And for those who serve Superman in the protection of all life, comes the shock of failure, the weight of being too late to help. And Bloodwind, we don't know much about him. No one does, it seems. Superman didn't even either, but he's like, he must survive, it cannot end this way. And they're all distraught. And it says, but it will. For a city to live, a man had given his all and more. So, Lois is crying over it. Please, please. She's like, you know, pleading with him, and he's like, Doomsday, is he? Is he? And she says, you stopped him. You saved us all. Now relax until... And she's holding him in her arms, and it says, but it's too late. And he's sitting there, for this is the day that a Superman died. And the final pages are a full splash page. I find it odd that she dropped him, though. That she dropped him in the rubble. I mean, yeah, it's way more dramatic because you're seeing the dead body laying there, but I just feel like Lois would not drop him. I mean, I know if I'm putting myself in a situation, I'm going to be holding tighter. I'm not going to be letting go. I felt like that was a weird way to end it. Almost like this should have been the last panel to me. This seems more like where you should end, in my opinion. And I think this could have been what we see in the front cover. This here, something, and maybe like just the back of her or something. But that would have been an awesome ending. But there it is. That's it. That's the final. Superman is dead. He stopped the menace, but in the process, he has stopped himself. What? Crazy. This went nuts. People went nuts when this happened. So here we are, 1992. It's 2018. So we are 2019. Sorry, 26 years ago. 25 years ago, technically, because this was from, or 26, yeah, because this was from 93. I was thinking the same thing. It started in 92, and that was 2018 would have been our timeline type thing, and now we're to 93 until 2019. So 26 years ago, and I still think it's fairly solid. I mean, I gave pretty good ratings all the way through. And again, I think the last one was pretty good. I liked the writing. I liked how it ended. I did like some of the art, the pages. I'm going to give the finale of it, I mean, because this is kind of how I feel like Superman would push. I like that he used opposite tactics. I like that there was just kind of it was a give and take. It was back and forth. So I'm going to give this a 4. I'm giving the death a 4. I mean, you have to honor it, right? It's a huge deal in comics for us. So overall, that means 3 4s, 2, a 3-5, a 3, and a 2-5, I believe, is what I have. So we're running pretty solid. That's a pretty solid run. I would say that gives us an easy 3.5 to 3 3/4 overall, which is a really solid run. But I mean, I would probably rate it due to what happens, the whole storyline, introduction of a great character. Doomsday's awesome, in my opinion. He looks cool. I like the crazy suit at the beginning. I love the way it was introduced and how everything went. So I'd probably give the whole read overall 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this one. Glad we picked this to read. So, but that's all. That's the end of it. That's it. Superman's dead. He, as we all know, doesn't last. And instead, 4 characters come up that embody portions of him, or are clones, or androids, or just a guy who wants to do his best. But it doesn't last. He comes back, and we still have Superman now to kick around and make great memes, or memes with between Batman and Superman. So it's great. So thanks for joining. Leave those comments. Let's hear what you have to say about it. Let's hear your final grades of this story. Do you like this? Did you like what I thought? Do you think I'm totally wrong on some stuff? Go ahead and hit me up. Tell me what you think. Also, hit the subscribe button and keep watching. There's more to come. We'll be having another read-along coming along in March. And I had fun. I hope you guys did too. Have a good night.